just feedback, because we can always improve and make things better. So I guess for those of you, and I think most of you have been here before, but if you haven't, it's a roundtable kind of type of discussion deal. Raise your hand if you can, that'd be great, just to keep things less chaotic since it's so echoey in here sometimes. So we're going to start with just talking, I guess. We're going to talk about what you guys really enjoyed. First of all, we're going to talk about what you guys enjoyed about this year's Java meetup. So if there was a specific session that you got a lot out of, if there was a session you thought could even be expanded to another topic, and then we're also going to look forward to 2011 to trends.
Digital conferences. So instead of going to a sales conference, getting a gigantic binder, a 4-inch binder of papers, they're going to hand you an iPad that's been pre-configured for your sessions, and all you have to do is hit the button, read the PDFs, take some quizzes, it sends all the scoring to a leaderboard. So yeah, stuff you can't do with a pen and paper, or you can't do that easily without a bunch of data entry.
Yeah.
So
I use mine. I mean, mine essentially replaced my laptop.
Okay.
My laptop kind of sits there. I use it occasionally, but especially for travel.
Yeah.
Totally. With the new update, I can do everything. I can do on my laptop.
So do you now mainly working with web-based applications? Because I mean, you can have Word on there, you can have Excel, I believe.
Oh, we can have Excel.
Yep.
Sorry.
I don't say it's a tool is another way, and I think what is going to change is the way that companies can communicate, especially with presentations. You mentioned like being able to do conferencing, and just adding interactivity, adding rich media to materials. And I think it's a great plus. So if you have an annual report and it just comes to life, or that you could be in the middle of a presentation and use the air feature to just go and show a video, just like that through the Apple TV. So it just opens the possibility of having a richer experience, whether it happens through the iPad or some other device. But I think it's just changing the way that we can communicate.
How is this not going to work? I want to hear from the marketers under here and the PR people. How's this not going to work? How are we going to tap into these social platforms that now people are getting more and more familiar with talking to one another? How do you now become part of that dialogue, and how do you do that in a soft way that you're not becoming disruptive like the previous ad model, shall we say?
Just people really figured it out more so than before, and to your point of it became a way to drive people to content elsewhere, and I thought that really got people are really figuring it out really well. My question, I think, to the overall group is, what is the next platform, social media platform that's going to be coming up in 2011? Jumo just launched 2 days ago. Huge splash and major technical difficulties. I can't even create a profile. I get in step 2 and I'm stuck. And it's like, okay, what is this going to mean for nonprofits? And that's the world I live in, is nonprofit world. And what are some of the next things that people should be looking at?
Foursquare, or might even know what a QR code is. I think people forget that we're in this room and QR code, all of us know what that is, all of us have QR code readers. But all those people on that bus do not. No, I just saw a bus of 30. And it's like, okay, we can talk about all this stuff, but really we haven't really even gotten the full potential of video. Video crushes it every time. Everyone can watch a video. And I think that there are ways to leverage video and to leverage the new, Facebook has the most users.
Good tools right now. Why do we need to be looking for that next thing? Why don't we refine what we currently have? I think people only like to change if they're unhappy with what currently exists. And I'm just wondering, I guess with the big channels like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, what's bad about those that you want something else within them? And I think that people are still just rushing too much to the next before we even gather what we have. It's just an interesting thing that I've noticed a lot of people. It's always more about innovation, which is great, but why don't we innovate what we currently have to make that the absolute best?
That they're reading something as part of their browsing, or that they're sharing it, or that they're emailing it, or whatever.
Especially
and the more that we remember that, probably the more we can connect with those people, rather than thinking about the tool and the next shiny object and the channel. It's
right.
still, you know, my deal is always it's the audience.
My other point was this whole idea of being sure we're not moving forward too fast and leaving audiences behind. I've been thinking a lot lately about how traditional PR and marketing tactics are often so separated from the new digital, social, whatever the next big thing is. And for a lot of businesses, events are still really important. A mention in the local newspaper is still huge for their business. So how do we couple the traditional efforts with the digital efforts better? And I'm especially interested in how events can be really dynamic, live events coupled with social efforts.
I'm going to companies and trying to present websites and text messaging, social media, and on down the line for them to reach their audience. But invariably, A, do they know their audience? Not their entire audience, because they don't want their, let's use a restaurant for an example. They've got their audience, okay, and if they can get them to keep coming back because they serve good food, good service, etc., they want everybody else. So I guess I would just like to piggyback on what Green was saying, in the sense that I would love to see a session in how do we get the people that don't know to know, and what are they going to gravitate to, you know.
Going to Google, and when you're saying, well, where are your customers at? Well, when they go to Google, they know exactly what they're looking for, they know exactly what they want, they research it. And I'm not saying social media obviously isn't important, because it is. I mean, that's your way to network, but I think at the same time to couple it with social media and SEO or your Google and just being present, it kind of all works in the same thing.
Search is becoming more and more social too, moving south.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, Facebook, I mean, those are no-follow links. Twitter's no-follow. So if you go to Google and you're looking for something, you're not going to see their Twitter. Well, you might see Twitter come up, but Facebook never comes up. And I think it's still a huge part of business if you're thinking, well, where's my business going to come from?
The majority of the group had no problem with Facebook knowing everything about them, because it was a free engine. But the moment it was going to be a paid service, then privacy all of a sudden became a very big problem. And I just, till this day, cannot wrap my head around it, because it doesn't change the privacy situation. It just changes that now all of a sudden, because you put money against it, you don't want them to know about you, but they already are knowing about you. And to me, social media, let's face it, we're being owned by both Google and Facebook. They know everything there is to know about us, and that's a pretty scary thought, regardless of what all technology is out there. And I think that we have to be a little bit more concerned about privacy issues just in general, as to when we have certain apps linked into our computer, tablets, phones, whatever it might be. Every time you download an app, read through before you hit the OK, because they're asking you to access all your contact information, everything that's on there, your photos, you name it. The moment you click OK, they know everything that's on your phone. So that, to me, I'd like to see how that's going to be addressed going forward, because I think that's going to be a pretty big topic. That said, I thank you all very, very much in the name of Joel, Erica, and myself for participating, being such great supports, sharing your information, and being such a lively group. So thank you very much.